Hello world, I am the Naked Farmer and I'm here to answer the question posed by Amagi Metals: what do Americans know about money? And my answer to that question, hopefully after this video, will be more. I can only speak for myself, but as an American, I will explain what I think I know about money. Hopefully by the end of the video, the answer to that question will be more. And my Webster's New American Dictionary of 1967 would define money as gold or silver, or other metal coined and issued by a government as a medium of exchange, standardized medium of exchange and measure of value. Anything that represents cash as any form of bank credit. Cash, money, coins, especially ready money. Well, today our medium of exchange is the dollar. It would fail to fit the first part of that definition, and as such is referred to as currency, because currency is money in circulation or of common or general acceptance. So the currency known as the dollar is best described to me as fiat money. The freedictionary.com describes fiat money as legal tender, and that's what this says: legal tender for all debts, public and private. So legal tender, especially paper currency, this is paper, authorized by a government but not based on or convertible into gold or silver. It's lacking all of those words other than federal and the legal tender. Anyway, Richard Nixon was the president at the time in the mid-1970s that shocked the world when he suspended indefinitely the Bretton Woods Agreement, which allowed for the dollar bill to be exchanged for a set amount of gold. And after the horrible Vietnam War, the US had overspent and would be unable to honor all of the debts in circulation with their gold reserves. When several countries began to demand their gold in exchange for the dollars, the crook Nixon, most likely puppeted by the Federal Reserve, started the fiat currency experiment that we live in now. The Federal Reserve is not a part of the United States government as described in the Constitution. Actually, our founding fathers fought hard to keep us out of such an organization and keep it from holding our purse strings, because the Federal Reserve is a central bank, which is a private institution which manages a state's currency, money supply, and interest rates. Central banks possess a monopoly on increasing the amount of money in the nation, and usually also prints the national currency, which serves as the nation's legal tender, designed to be independent from political interference. That's taken from Wikipedia, and that clearly describes an entity which controls the wealth of a nation without the hindrance of the politics of our Constitution. The Federal Reserve was created in a secret meeting in 1910 off the coast of Georgia on Jekyll Island. And this secret meeting was called to order by J.P. Morgan. It was a secret meeting where the heads of banks, corporations, and a government, and some of the people in government, at least two people, decided what should be done about the nation's economy. Present at this meeting were Senator Nelson Aldrich, his secretary Arthur Shelton, Harvard professor of economics Dr. A. Piatt Andrew, J.P. Morgan partner Henry Davison, National City Bank head Frank A. Vanderlip, and Kuhn and Loeb and Company partner Paul M. Warburg. These conspirators met under the guise of a duck hunt. Well, the general population were the sitting ducks, and their hunting trip was exceptionally successful, because shortly thereafter, at the meeting of Jekyll Island, these conspirators devised the Federal Reserve banking system, which Senator Aldrich submitted to Congress. Shortly thereafter, although his original bill was not immediately passed, it was eventually passed by 1913 as the Federal Reserve Act and signed into law by Woodrow Wilson. The Federal Reserve now runs the world's biggest Ponzi scheme, which operates through fractional reserve banking, where they lend out, say, $10 for every $1 they are given. This money is lent out as a debt to the government, and as such can never be repaid because the Fed controls the money. thereby enslaving the world to their currency. Today, the Federal Reserve Chairman is Ben Hello Goodbye Shalom Bernanke. He served as chairman of George W. Bush's Council of Economic Advisors before Bush appointed him as the 14th chairman of the Federal Reserve on February 1st, 2006. Obama renominated him as chairman on January 28, 2010. So much for change, Obama. Bernanke has been suspected of fraudulent dealings, but so far nothing has come of the accusations. He has put into practice something known as quantitative easing, where central banks buy financial assets from commercial banks and other private institutions, thus increasing the monetary supply. Or, in other words, running a Ponzi scheme. As Americans living under this Ponzi scheme, we are kept as slaves, forced to use their currency as a means of exchange. Step out of line and they will put a label on you, such as anti-American, or we won't say the other words, but they will demonize you. Just look at what happened to John F. Kennedy, who wanted to end the Fed, or, I know they're not Americans, but Saddam Hussein, who wanted to trade oil for euros instead of dollars, our General Gaddafi, who wanted to create the golden denarii and trade gold for oil, or Hugo Chavez, who repatriated his gold and then died quickly, kind of mysteriously thereafter. And although they were not Americans, they share the similar plight of being slaves to the U.S. Federal Reserve. And a slave is a human being held in bondage, a victim of habit, or one who drudges with small reward. Bondage is the state of being under compulsion, obligation, or necessity. We as Americans are forced to receive this fiat currency as the small reward for drudging through our dreary jobs habitually in order to live a meager life. All the while, those running the banks live comfortably and luxuriously, laughing at us from their mansions. In order to escape this slavery, one must first realize the condition of being a slave. Then, with that knowledge, one may work towards escaping, because you can't escape slavery if you don't know that you're a slave. So the next step is to become more self-reliant and stop being dependent upon corporations to feed, clothe, and sustain you. Grow food. See this? These are seeds. These are purple hull peas. They'll give you protein. And then you can provide goods and services in exchange for gold, silver, or bitcoins. Gold and silver are great as physical money, but as digital money, one may be better off using Bitcoin, which bypasses the central bank and may be exchanged instantly all around the world. And I apologize for this not being so entertaining, but I am a farmer, as you see, and not a movie maker. I hope it was informative and that the answer to the question, what do Americans know about money, is now more. Love and gratitude. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye now.